All right, welcome back to... Welcome back to Processing, Episode 6. I'm Steven.
I'm Mallory.
Max.
Jack.
A lot's happened since the last podcast. We went to the Emmys. Bryant went home. As you can tell, he's not here, so we're back down to our four-man set. And Max actually went back home to Savannah for a weekend. And Mallory and I just slept the whole time, so we didn't miss much. Jack, you want to talk about the Emmys?
Sure. So we left the day after we did the last podcast, right?
Yeah.
We left. We went to Atlanta. We got there late Friday night. Spent the night in Atlanta Friday night. Saturday was the Emmys. The ceremony started around 7. There was a red carpet at like 6. Originally, Mallory and Steven both were not going to be able to come. But when we got there, we got one extra ticket. And when we got to the red carpet, we sort of realized security was super lax at the place. And so, fortunately, Mallory and Steven were both able to come. We waited a long time for my category because there was a lot of categories ahead of me. Mine was one of the last ones. We probably sat there for, 2 hours?
Almost 3.
Waiting for my category. Then my category got called, and I didn't win. And then we just left.
But it's okay because we got to spend time with the family.
Yeah, I did get to see all my family. It was my dad's birthday on Saturday as well. Shout out Trey Cook. It was Father's Day on Sunday, so it was a big weekend. But no, unfortunately did not win. I said this, I guess I'll kind of recap it a little bit. But I said this in my YouTube video about it, but I kind of felt like after we left that the Emmys was sort of like it was an award show, not a reward show. So all the work that I put in for that, what do I call it? Yeah, series. Jack
doesn't even know what he did.
Sorry. All the work that I put in for that series, the reward was in people responding to all the videos and commenting and texting me and sharing the video and things like that. It wasn't really, I wasn't looking for an award. The reward was in feedback and conversation with the people who were watching it. So, it was fun to go. It was fun to celebrate it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't what mattered.
Couldn't agree more. The Emmys was rigged. I saw it.
I paid him.
You did?
Yeah, it was me.
Max rigged it against me?
Yep, had to.
I'm not surprised.
Had to.
Wait, but while we're still on the topic of the Emmys, we got to talk about Mallory's stunt. She pulled an entire outfit in less than 30 minutes.
Mallory, hit that.
My mom was supposed to bring me a dress from home, and then I didn't think I was going anymore, so I told her not to bring it, and then I did get to go an hour before it started. So then my mom picked me up and we went to the mall and I got a dress and shoes and showed up.
Fastest, what's that called? Wardrobe change I've ever seen.
It was quick.
Especially in person.
So, I'm slightly glad that Jack didn't win an Emmy because I wanted to be there for the first Emmy. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Well, I would have been hype if you won one, but since you didn't, I'm not as sad because I was going to be there for the first one.
Okay.
So a little selfish on my part.
No, that's okay. I
But,
want you to be there for the first one too.
Yeah, I want to be there too. So the reason why I was not at the Emmys with everyone is because, unfortunately, my grandfather did pass away. I think he was 83. But if you did not know my grandfather, he was a beast. If you did know my grandfather, you knew he was a beast. But he's in a better place now, and everyone is doing well. Our family only got stronger from the event, and it was beautiful to see all my family together in such a low time. So cherish every moment of your life because you never know when the last moment is, and love your family.
True chains.
That's what I had to say about that.
He will be sorely missed.
Oh,
My dad asked me about him the other day when I was on the phone with him when he called me.
A tank of a guy that lived a tank of a life.
Yes.
My dad was friends with him for the middle part of his life because my dad's dad was one of his patients.
Really?
Yeah.
Like right when he moved to Savannah?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like one of the first 4, I want to say like head of a hospital in Savannah. He was like on the board with like the Tenenbaum, like that family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a beast. No doubt
To
about
say the
that.
least.
Yeah.
So you guys, I guess now we can talk about these shirts because last time at the end we mentioned them.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we like mentioned them, and then I think Max was like, let's like wait until we can actually talk about them.
Okay.
But now, as you're watching this, the shirts have already been out and probably are gone.
Yeah. How are there 2 left?
2 left.
2 left.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, give a little bit of background with it.
So we had been trying for a long time, those of you who watch the videos on Jack's channel, to find a good place for us to print these Hardy Drive shirts, which go hand in hand with the series that we're doing this summer in LA. And we finally found a good place to do it that does the DTG and the screen print. And so we decided that to pay homage to Jack's address in Savannah, his old address, which is 13 Hardy Drive, that we would sell 13 of these exclusively. And so they launched today, and we have how many left? 2?
2 left.
2 left. And we also spent the better part of last week, or the end of last week and into this week, filming a promo video for it. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out.
Yeah.
It would be on Instagram, but
Yeah, they flagged it, took it down
Yeah.
for copyright.
That's stupid.
First, I do want to say for the people who aren't watching the video, just listening, the shirt says Hardy Drive on the front in the same print and color that I use in my YouTube videos. And then the back is a photo of me from summer school, a series I did last year on YouTube with a chair on fire. But it was on Hardy Drive. That's kind of why we picked it. And it's also the last frame of the intro for my YouTube series. And then it has like Unframed on the right side of it, sort of like descending. And Mallory designed it. So a big collaborative effort from everyone on the shirts.
it's probably my favorite shirt in my inventory. I don't have that many in my inventory, but this one I'll be wearing most often now.
Yeah.
It's definitely very soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you did purchase one of the shirts, thank you so much. Even though that I think like 4 of them were like people that we know very well, and like we say like thank you like so much for supporting us, because even if you are one of our friends and we just know you and like you reached out to me right when you bought it, like, and I was like, thank you so much. It actually means the whole entire world. And they're like, what are you doing? Like this, it's not that much, but it actually means so much to us. Especially for a shirt like this, because it's significant to especially Jack and I and Steven towards the end. But Jack and I literally grew up in that house pretty much every weekend, if not every other weekend. So it's crazy. Seeing the significance of the street number and name to like a shirt like this.
Yeah.
And especially because these shirts are a little bit more on the pricier side for one of our Unframed shirts, because I think in the past we were selling our shirts for like $20-$25, and this is a $45 shirt. It's insane that people still supported us and bought into it. I just think it's so cool.
Very cool.
I was at work today, like looking at the Shopify, and I was just seeing like people purchasing it, and I was so flattered and just like blown away that, like, I was telling Jack this earlier, that we put in so much time and qualitative value and effort on our part, and then to drop something like this and see a quantitative value from it in terms of monetary value. It doesn't necessarily have to be, it could be views and stuff like that, but just to see all of that happen at one time was crazy. It's just like, we're putting out stuff and people are listening is kind of like how I was kind of saying it, and how like I was kind of rendering it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling when like you can see that your work pays off and like comes to fruition because people like respect it and want something about it. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I just think it's really, really, really cool that people bought our shirts.
Yeah. It was weird that people wanted to buy the shirts a little bit.
Jack and I looked at each other after the first like 3 sold, and we were like,
What?
I think Max is photoshopping the
No,
Shopify.
dude. When I said that, I couldn't tell if y'all were looking at it and you guys were just messing with me. Like, I thought all of y'all were watching the Shopify like me. I didn't take my eyes off of the Shopify
None of us
page.
are logged in.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we were at Earth Cafe, so we were sitting on our phones, and we were just like we were in the group message listening to you say it, and we were like,
That's what I
"There's no way
I said
that
this to
anyone
Jack
bought this."
when we got back home. I was like, it's funny because Max is the only one logged into the Shopify. But when you log in, it says "Welcome, Jack," and the PayPal is linked to me, so we're all over the place with that thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was crazy because, like, there's countless times where people have come over to us and they're like, "Oh, we love your videos. We love all this." Like, and that's more than enough. That's all that we really ask for. We don't even ask for
Of
that.
course.
It's just super, super cool to see people, like, actually reciprocating the value that we put out there. But this is, like, to a whole nother level of reciprocation of us putting in the time every single day and just enjoying what we do. And then they buy something from us is just insane.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like your street name, which some people, I don't think they might be Brian or Shane's friends, but it's none of our friends that I've personally met that were purchasing the shirts. And that blows me. Like, that blows my mind because I could be really wrong. I'm super sorry if you are Brian or Shane's friend. But if you've just been watching us through the internet and on your computer and you felt like you had enough value to purchase one of our things, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is just insane to me. So thank you so much to anyone that purchased one of those shirts. And if you're listening to this and they're still out, feel free to grab the last two. But shout out all those people. You want me to hit a trivia?
Yeah, let's hit a trivia. Should
All
we
right.
call? Wait. Should we call
Brian's
Brian?
definitely asleep. You want me to FaceTime him though?
Yeah. All right. We're gonna call into Bryant and see if he's still awake in Savannah for the first trivia question for this one.
What time is it? It's 1.
Do you have a trivia?
All right, Bryant, here's your trivia, man.
Great. He's not ready.
Hold on, let me get a trivia question.
Okay.
Wait, don't you have one ready?
Yeah. No, but it's all you. You're on the spot. We have 40,000 people listening right now.
Alright, hold on.
I know, but I'm going to wait for him to start going. Are we keeping this part?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys.
It'll be interesting for Bryant to have his spotlight.
It's gotta be interesting for Brian. Steven,
Great.
you sit down over there, alright?
He's 1,000 miles away and he's still chirping me. All right, any day now, Bryant.
Hold on, my computer's glitching.
It's glitching.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Hold on. Wait, let's talk about something. Bring up another topic.
Well, it's trivia time right now,
Yeah.
Bryant. This is literally all you. Like, the podcast is on your shoulder.
I didn't know it was gonna be.
You told me to call you.
I thought it was gonna be. It's 1 a.m. I thought y'all were just forgot or y'all didn't do one today.
Dude.
We're crazy, Bryant. You have to know.
Okay, hold on. I got a good one. Oh, dude. Oh, hold on.
Bryant, the suspense is killing us.
Dude, this is gonna be crazy.
I get to answer this one because I don't know the answer.
Y'all will never get it, but, like, it's okay.
Are you going to ask it?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Where was the first yerba mate plant ever, like, founded or, like, ever grown and, like, made into a drink?
Okay. So if they didn't hear that, I don't know how good the audio is, but where's the first yerba mate plant founded?
I don't know. Somewhere in like Latin America.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Latin America. How many freaking countries are there?
Costa Rica is my guess.
Costa Rica?
You have to all guess first.
Guatemala.
Guatemala? Like Argentina or Chile?
Peru.
What is it?
History of yerba mate, 17th century stretches back to pre-Columbian / Paraguay.
Paraguay. Dang, I was kind of close.
Is it Paraguay?
Paraguay.
Yeah, Paraguay.
Paraguay,
whatever.
Uruguay, Paraguay.
All right, thanks,
Second-
Bryant. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Great, Bryant.
I mean, that took long enough, huh?
Yeah. Let's delete this one.
Dang, Paraguay. Wait, is that north or south of the other one, Uruguay? You know, there's Paraguay and Uruguay.
I don't
They're
know.
cousins.
Yeah, brothers.
I don't know.
All right, let's talk about the shot list then.
Okay.
To
A little
do-
bit about the behind the scenes of the video.
Yeah, so the video that we mentioned for the Hardy Drive T-shirts. What's the title of the video on YouTube? I forget. Roots.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Hardy Drive X Roots?
No, it's
Unframed.
Unframed Clothing X Roots.
Oh, okay. So for those of you who watched that video,
Steven doesn't even know the name of my own videos.
Great, bro. Everything happened so quick today.
That is true.
Go ahead, Steven.
Well, you talk about it.
Okay.
You open up about it.
So you just want to talk about a little bit behind like the creative process?
Yeah.
Okay. So it started like I needed something. I knew I wanted to make a promo for the shirts. So it needed to start somewhere, and so it started with music. And so I have like a playlist on my phone that's just music that I think like I might want to use for videos one day. So I was listening to that playlist, and there's a song in there called "I Got the New World in My View" by Sister something
Gertrude. Oh.
something Gertrude.
Oh.
Anyways, the song's really good, and then there's a lot of remixes to the song. So one of the remixes to the song had like a really good beat behind it, and like it was pretty fast paced. And so when I was listening to it, like I could feel like the cuts in it and like how I would film it. And so I was listening to the song more and more and more, and then I spent like 2 hours or so cutting the audio in Premiere to be like a minute long, so I could have like a stem of what I could listen to over and over again to like figure out what I wanted to film. So then once we had the music, then after that it was just like listen to the music and then try and imagine what that should look like.
Yeah.
And so we tried to come up with a shot list, and the shot list was based off the music a little bit, and then also like I tried to throw in a little bit of our personalities in each of the things. So like there were a couple of shots of me by the ocean just because I really like the water. There was a couple shots of Max where we put like speakers in the middle of the street because Max really makes music, really likes music. There was a couple of shots of Mallory where she like styled the shirt with like a cool outfit because Mallory likes fashion. And then I honestly didn't really know what to do with you.
Thanks, guys.
I didn't know like how to spin it, but I was gonna try and do like, because you have to do like some sort of activity in the video, you know.
Why couldn't it just be me like this?
I was gonna try and spin it to be like you like climbing or something because you have like spider skills, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So it ended up Steven was running basically
A lot.
because the name of the song, the remix, is called "Runnin'." It's by David Dallas. So. We just like would think of different shots, and me and Steven would go back and forth and say like, how can we make this interesting?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like last podcast, we talked about the bouncing ideas off of each other. Since we're like so close to each other, it's easy for us to like be creative that way. So that's what when Jack creates that audio stem that we can both listen to over and over again. He'll like come to me and be like, okay, I'm thinking about this for Max, or I'm thinking about this for Mallory, or I'm thinking about this location or whatever, and then we kind of go back and forth and just see like what we can do to like add certain things to it or turn it completely around and make it something completely different that we hadn't thought about as individuals before. But then when we're all together, it's easier for us to bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of.
It was nice. It was fun. That was like the first time that I've done that specifically, like with like getting a shot list and going out and getting certain things. That was the first time I've done that, I think, since last summer.
Yeah.
Because
That's definitely the first time we've done that since we've been out here.
Yeah.
That's the most cinematic thing we've put together.
Yeah.
Since we've been out here.
I think it looked pretty good, except the color.
I don't know. The color, it was all right towards the end.
I don't know. I honestly think that if I were to shoot it in 4K, it would look better. Like
what
the color.
Say, Jack, put it on record. I said that we should do that at the very beginning before we even started shooting it.
I know, but I wanted to shoot stuff in 120. So I couldn't have best of both
the 4K
worlds.
makes up for it.
My red.
Your red.
My
yeah.
red.
Okay.
I probably should let you guys use that.
I don't know. The 4K color thing doesn't exactly make sense, but I feel like if it was 4K, the colors would look better for some reason. I don't know why I think that, but I think that.
It would just look nice.
I don't know. Maybe next time with something else. Shorter video. We can do that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about one of your questions then.
Okay. Let's start out with one that's like a little bit like more of just like a brain teaser. Do you think that the universe is truly infinite?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's scientifically proven that the universe.
So it does not ever end.
Yes.
Well, it's always expanding.
But does it have an end that it's expanding against? Because if you say it's expanding, then that means that it has an end that it's expanding against. If it's infinite, then it doesn't ever stop.
So you're saying, like, think about like pulling apart a rubber band. Like, the part in the middle is what it's expanding against? Is that what?
There's like a border that's like moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm saying like the edge of space. Like the universe is expanding because all the planets are getting further apart and stuff. But like the universe itself, like is space infinite or not?
I don't know.
Let me go check.
You're gonna go look?
Spaceship?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
Space is just one of those things that like is the craziest thing ever, and we never think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's right there.
Yeah, and we're just so focused on our daily lives and daily tasks, and it's like, wait, like, I don't even know this thing at all.
I don't think that any of us are intellectually
Qualified.
up to par.
Not even. I am quadruple bogey. When it
Well,
comes to this.
I was trying to get to like if it is infinite, then infinity can exist physically. Do you know what I mean? Like if the universe is infinite, then something infinite can exist physically. You know?
Boy, do I
But
know
if it-
about infinite graphs
If
in
it
algebra.
doesn't exist,
Limits.
like if the universe isn't infinite, then nothing can exist infinitely physically. You know what I mean?
So, like, what would be an example now that is thought of to exist infinitely physically?
Like you could have infinite love per se, okay?
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't like you can't grab onto it. But like you couldn't have like an infinite laser pointer or something, like a line of color. Like it couldn't go to infinity eventually. It would have to stop. So like the concept of infinity can't exist physically. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
But if the universe is infinite, then technically something physically can be infinite.
Dude, I want to see what Google has to say about this. Have you looked it up?
No. I don't know. Is there a real answer? Maybe
don't
there
know.
is like a definite answer.
Let's see.
You know what I mean though?
Is
Is it hurting? Is it
I
hurting?
literally just typed in is the universe. I mean, is the un, and it was infinite.
I'm trying to. There was something. I
You're
used
trying to wrap your head around what I'm saying.
No, like I'm rapping, but like,
You see what I'm saying?
Kinda. I don't know.
I used to be like, want to know more about like the dimensions and stuff. I took astronomy my senior year of high school,
Okay.
and I got super into the like fourth dimension stuff, and I like was like reading. I would read about string theory and stuff, and I remember on like I think I remember reading something about like dimensional planes and a certain thing being infinite. It might have been like time and space something, dude. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So the observable universe is 13.8 billion light years. But like past the observable universe that we like think is there is currently at 46 billion light years. An estimate made in co-moving coordinates, which accounts for the ever expanding portion of the universe.
So
it is limited, but it's always growing,
yeah.
I guess.
So what's it limited against? Like when it stops, what's after that?
I don't think it will
Oh,
stop,
God.
though.
Oh God. That is scary.
Like where it stops. I mean, like right now, the edge of the universe. What's past that? Like, can you explain that?
Time.
I don't know. That might have been like too deep for like just asking one question on a podcast, but
So this one's a little more just like a brain teaser.
yeah, just to did like get you thinking.
That one's just thinking.
That definitely does something thinking.
I don't know. I like thinking about that stuff.
So do
just
I.
randomly.
That is crazy.
I used to pick my astronomy teacher's brain about stuff like that. I think all that's really interesting. But like I said, none of us are really intellectually
I'm dumb.
coming close.
I'm stupid.
I know. I think it's fun though if you don't know.
Yeah, just to
Just to
run
think
around
about
the
it.
thought.
Yeah.
I always like the one about how, like, infinite universes, like we could be
Yeah.
a speck of dust. Like it's basically the same concept of like Horton Hears a Who.
Like fractals.
Yeah, like we could be just. Oh, remember the elephant garden?
Yeah.
Remember I made you watch that video?
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah.
Or how about like just multi-universe, parallel multi-universes?
Yeah.
And like in this universe, I'm an unframeder, but in the other one, I'm like
An unframed.
I'm just the guy, you know.
What are you in the other one?
I'm just a mere dandelion.
A dandelion.
Yeah.
What about reincarnation?
All right. So what was your second question, Jack?
We want to go straight into the second one?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't care. Like I'm crazy.
Okay. I was going to say I was going to ask, where do you find your truth? So, like, I kind of base, but beyond your parents, like, is the question.
Okay.
So, like, your parents teach you right and wrong, or, like, what truth is.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't kill someone, it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know that a little bit innately, but also, like, your parents tell you.
Yeah.
But then beyond that, like, in sort of, like, the smaller day-to-day life, is there somewhere specific that you would say you find your truth? Like, I think movies give me my truth, or films, because, like, it'll offer a situation, and it'll tell a story, and then it sort of will pose a question that's sort of the theme about the movie, and then you get to decide for yourself, like, what the answer to that is, a little bit. Or sometimes it'll offer a truth or an answer to that question that is a truth. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think I base a lot of my truth off of movies because of that, and off of film, because it has such a big effect on me. And I don't think it has to be, like, that deep necessarily. Like, you could get your truth from anywhere. But I didn't know if... yeah, that's kind of the question. Where do you get your truth from? It can be just your parents. I mean, that can be your answer.
Wait, elaborate more on what you mean about your truth.
Like, truth as in, like, right and wrong, and how, like, you think about the world, and, like, decision making, things like that. Like, what's good and bad, where's the line and sort in things. Like, where do you get that from? Your sense of moral compass.
I don't know. That's one of those things where, like...
Am I asking too tough
No.
of questions?
I like these questions, but it's like...
Just trying to pinpoint it.
Yeah. For me, I don't know, like, how this sounds, like, coming out of my mouth, but when I think about that right, like, this instant, I feel like I don't know. Like, as a human, as a normal functioning human being, you know those things, like, at your core. Like, as an animal, you consider us animals. Like, you're born, I feel like, with those premonitions.
So I think you probably get it more just from society. Because I think if you were to be born, like, in even, like, a different country, or if you grew up around no people, you probably have a different sense of, like, moral compass and right and wrong than if you lived in Savannah, Georgia your whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it can be your geography. Where you grew up gives you your moral compass.
Okay. I like that. I think I definitely, like, can agree with you, though, about pulling certain facets from movies, films, entertainment, like, as a human in society, like, obviously, I think.
Mm-hmm. Like, I get some of my truths from movies, and then I reject some truths that I feel like have been sort of tried to been given to me by society. That's why I feel like I am the way I am. Like, I want to do the things that I want to do because of what I've seen on the internet and with films and with videos. So I sort of reject what was given to me as truth and go with past my parents. I give into movies as my truth, and I reject what was tried to be given to me by society. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I get my truth there. I don't get it from other people, I guess, or like people around me or where I grew up. But you totally can. I'm just saying.
I definitely chalk a lot of it up to my dad too.
Yeah.
Because I can just like look back and see myself listening to him like explain something to me, and I'm sitting there like glossy eyed, like yeah. I
That's
believe
the way
everything
it's supposed to
you're
be.
saying. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm like, there's definitely not like one place where I'm like, oh, 100% right there for sure. But something I was just thinking about, like not directly answering that question, but when you're like, I think you get it from like society and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at like other cultures and stuff, like there's definitely stuff in other cultures that we would look at and be like, no, that's not right. Like that's not morally correct, or like that's just taboo or something like that. And they would look at our culture and say the exact same thing. It's just like, I think it's like a big portion of where you grew up in. Like this is just like nature versus nurture kind of argument, but I think we all just take it from like a lot of places. Like there's things that I take from like my parents, and then there's things that I take from all of y'all, and then there's things I would take like from Gary Vee and like Danny Duncan, like the places that I'm like ingesting information and stuff like that. But I kind of agreed to a sense of you, like there's like things I look at, I'm like, okay, well that doesn't fit me, so I don't believe in that really, or like I won't necessarily pursue that, or like that fits me more, I'm probably going to push that, and just like keep kind of like clipping down what I don't want, and then keep pushing the stuff that I do like the things that do interest me.
Mine's definitely my relationship with God and like the concept of love. That's like very important to me. Everything that I do is the first purpose is like to glorify him. So it's like just to like love people, and like if you're practicing love in the way that he intended it to be, then it's like that's what's right, and if it's not love, then it's wrong for me.
That's a good one, and that's an easy one too. Like
It was really easy. I didn't have to think about it.
yeah,
I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like these questions though.
I also was gonna say that I think this is sort of away from the question a little bit, but I think that the internet has provided a place where you can find what you think is the truth anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted your truth to be something, you could find a group of people that also thought that on the internet, and then you guys can bunch up, and then you have your own truth. You know what I mean?
No doubt about that.
So like I think that there's a good and a bad to like that side of the coin.
I completely agree about that.
Yeah.
That can definitely lead to the good and bad things.
Yeah.
Very good and very bad.
Yeah. You can get a group of really positive like creators, and then you can get the
Cult.
Yeah, the trolls under the bridge.
Yeah.
So I'm currently reading Crushing It with an exclamation, the little pointy guy with the shoes.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. It's by Gary Vaynerchuk, the one and only, and I'm like a little bit past halfway. And I've got to say, it's all things that I agree and that I think we all do very well. It's like pushing your passion and what are you doing, Steven?
I think we just lost a light.
They've kind of been flicking. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Steven was so mad for a second.
No, I just like confused. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, it's
interrupt
okay.
you.
It's like basically like finding the passions in life and putting all your marbles in one basket and pushing those, because though that they might be the most risky, they have by far the most reward in this lifetime. So do what you, I mean, it's like what we kind of talk about all the time, but if you are on the fence on pushing your passion, or you're a little confused, or you just want to learn more about social media or what platforms to obtain to push your passion, definitely read Crushing It. I'm not done with it, so I can't give 100% review, but I really like it a lot right now.
Is this kind of a book that he just sort of talks about stuff that he thinks, or is it like an autobiography, or is it a?
So it's the portion that I'm at is mostly testimonials of just like people doing stuff on different platforms. So like right now I'm reading about one on a guy on LinkedIn, and how he was like one of the very first people, not necessarily to revolutionize it, but vocalize the things that are working. And he would go to like these conferences and all this stuff, and he just genuinely liked it at first. And then he realized he could get sponsorships, and then he could get cuts with like events and like the food even. Like he would get a cut of all these things, and he was like, all right, well, I'm gonna just teach people how to improve their LinkedIn and grasp more attention on LinkedIn and stuff like that. But it's like there's people with blogs, YouTube channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, but I think they're everywhere. Like all different types of platforms. So right now it's just testimonials and like someone sending in a huge email on like, these are the things that I've done for myself. Like, I just want to send this in and thank you. And then he does like a little bit of a narrative on top of it. But
that's cool.
Yeah. I actually really, 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 really like in the beginning of the book, he gives like a very big disclaimer on these are like the rules and the guidelines for what you what works. And it's very, very like simple, but the more detailed things he's like are going to be way more personal to you. Like your account's going to be way different than mine, and whatever works for you is going to work for you and not anyone else. But he's like, it's just mostly putting in 110% effort in something and just like not giving up and being super patient in the macro and being really intense in the micro. So definitely read that book if you want to. My next book I'm going to read is The Richest Man in Babylon.
Dude, I want to read that one too.
Yeah. So the first time we heard about this was actually an Uber driver. His name was Sal. Sal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talked about that in
yeah,
the car?
I wrote it down.
He was a Green Beret for 7 years.
Yeah. And then now he owns his own financial, I think he said personal and businesses?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he does advising for personal and large corporations, it sounds like. So he was just kind of giving me book recommendations, and he was like, I would read The Richest Man in Babylon. And I was like, okay, I wrote it down, and then Danny Duncan put it on his story. I was like,
really?
Yeah. I was like, GG's in that chat. Yeah, I'm definitely reading that next. So the thing about Gary's book that I would say is like that we live it, breathe it every single day. It's not like I'm necessarily learning anything. Like I'm not going, oh, like I didn't think of that. It's just more like reassurance and like, here are people doing what we're doing. You just need to keep going type deal.
Gotcha.
Like it's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's kind of how I see this book. But when I was reading my last book, I was learning all about like financing and investing and budgeting and stuff like that. So I was a little bit more into that book, but I definitely like Crushing It, and I think a lot of people could get a lot of value from it. 901 vintage.
Do we got another trivia, or are we going one and done?
Oh, let's do one more trivia.
No, y'all start with the rest time recommendations, and after you guys hit that film, I'll have a really nice one for you.
You gonna do a trivia in the middle of rest time recommendations?
No. After to cap it off is what he's saying. He's got to look for one now.
Okay.
Sure.
Hit us with the movie, Steven.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
All right, rest time recommendations for this week. The movie portion, brought to you by Jack and I, of course, is none other than The Usual Suspects.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, I didn't get the reaction I thought I was gonna get.
I don't know what you're gonna pick, and so that's one of those that like I watched it on the plane.
Oh yeah, on the way to Hawaii.
I think either on the way there or on the way back.
Yeah.
And like it's one of those that I really liked, but it wasn't one that I doled over for a long time, and so.
Well, it's one of those ones when you watch it, you don't have to ponder at the end. It's more like you like bask in the glory of like the movie itself. Like you get it. Like at the end, you get it.
I know a lot less about this one, I guess,
than like another one that I could have picked. Did you have any preconceived like thoughts about what you thought I thought
you might say like Blade Runner or something.
I thought about doing that.
Something
I'm saving
crazy.
That one for a little bit later down the time.
I love that movie.
You can be in on that one too.
All right, cool.
All right, the specs on it. The Usual Suspects, it came out in 1996. I don't know if you even knew that. Pretty old.
I knew that.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know the exact year. I knew it was in the 90s.
It doesn't really look like a mid 90s film, does it?
I did on the plane.
All right.
I kind of felt like it did. In the sound, you can tell the most by the sound.
Oh, like Bryant is calling me. All right. So came out in 96. The director is Bryan Singer. He's done that's the name. I don't really know any other movies that
I
he's
couldn't
done.
tell you any off
but
the
you
top
know
of
the
my
name.
head. I think I do. I don't know, honestly. You would have to say other movies, and I would tell you if I knew them or not.
Yeah.
Who's DP?
I didn't put the DP down because it was like some guy I've never heard of.
Okay.
The cinematography is nothing special in that movie.
Okay.
You know, I mean, would you disagree?
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't. I mean, no, it wasn't a standout feature.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting.
Uh-huh.
But this is who I did write down as far as the crew goes is the writer, because the movie is really well written, like the screenplay, but then also like the dialogue itself. The writer is Christopher McQuarrie. Christopher McQuarrie. He's done he did another big movie, but he did like the what's it called? Like he did the director's cut, kinda. It's not the director's cut, but he did like something else like that.
Okay.
He didn't do the actual movie, but I forget what it was. But the Usual Suspects won 2 Oscars that year. It won Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Kevin Spacey.
Really good job.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. I can't say much for him about him as a person, but he's definitely a very good actor. And then the other Oscar was for Best Original Screenplay. So shout out to Christopher.
That's cool.
Because he definitely did a good job.
Yeah.
You should really go watch that movie. It's just a good movie.
A classic murder mystery, we can say.
Very interesting.
One that will keep you entertained and on the edge of your seat.
Till the end.
Yeah.
Like literally the very end.
very end.
So I'm going to hit a trivia right now because it's only fitting, Jack.
Oh. Wow. You go ahead, man.
What was the first movie ever, and what was the date?
Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah.
I could not.
The first motion, it says it's not for sure because there might be some that were lost, but first motion picture movie.
Okay.
And when do you think the date was?
I bet I can tell you the guy who did it.
Let's not do that. That's not the
Thomas
answer.
Edison.
No. That's a good guess, but do you
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know, can you look up who
That's
did
not
it?
my actual guess.
That wasn't your actual guess?
No, I was messing around.
Can you look up who was?
It just looks kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's just black.
Does it have anything to do with a horse?
It does.
William Muybridge.
You know this one.
If I get this one right, I'm gonna be so hype.
Okay.
Wait, you have to know the name of the movie.
I forget.
And the date.
Dude,
I know it.
literally the movie,
You just
Jack.
saw it.
If
Don't
it's
answer it then.
if it's what I'm thinking it is literally, frames of a horse racing in one of the Kentucky Derby things.
He's right.
Really?
Yes, William Muybridge. I forget the name of what it is, but it was
Can I
literally
tell him?
just frame shots, and then they stitched it
I want you to
together.
guess. And guess the year, too.
Yeah, I can't remember the year. Really early.
All right, guess.
Is it in the 1900s?
No, I
No,
feel like it'd
yeah.
be in the 1800s.
Yeah, it's 1863.
Guess again.
It is in the 1900s?
It's in
Lower.
the 1800s.
1880.
Holy shit. 1878. And it's The Horse in Motion. You guys want to see it?
Yeah. It was William Muybridge, was it not? Yep.
The first
Steven wants
movie ever.
everyone really to know
I'm not
who
gonna
made
lie.
it and that he
That's
guessed
because
it.
I know what it is. I
This
just
one's kind of scary.
couldn't remember.
I don't know why.
What?
This one. It's the second movie.
The second movie ever?
Yeah, it's just kind of freaky to me. I don't know why.
Thomas Edison was a good guess though.
All right, sorry.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Was he involved in that
Yeah,
stuff?
he was the first,
wrote it.
he was the first one to do a portable camera
Huh. I didn't know that.
for motion pictures.
Okay.
Really?
That movie kind of looked. I want to know how they did that. Honestly,
I
like
learned about it.
The horse like is right in the middle of the frame every time. So like, did they have it on a track or something?
Yeah, I learned about it in.
That's crazy.
That
Moving
class.
on. This is crazy. Too
Yeah, would
crazy
you have a
for me.
recommendation, Max?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, are you gonna do fashion or music?
You do music.
Okay. So I was gonna do fashion, but I guess I'm doing music. I'm just messing with you, Mallory.
Huh?
Okay. So music recommendation. It's gonna be a Roddy Ricch album
Let's go.
because he got double XL, and I love Roddy Ricch. So shout out to Roddy Ricch and Gunna. I'm not
They
gonna
both
lie.
are listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see Gunna getting double XL because I already thought I was past that.
Yeah.
But that's on me. So, the album, sorry, is Feed the Streets 2. Especially with that intro, you just get smacked. Dude, honestly, this is a solid album. There's only one song I skip in this. Every time I listen to it. That is pretty solid. Like, this album is like, it's like nothing insane lyrically, but it's still a banger after a banger.
His voice.
I
just sounds
definitely couldn't tell you any of the names of the songs, what the album looks like, or any of the order or anything, but I know I've listened to all of them because being in the car with you
Yeah.
so much.
So go check out Roddy Ricch. He's the man.
good. Shout out Roddy and
Yeah.
Gunna.
Thank you for tuning in, Roddy. I'll see you later.
And Gunna, thank you for tuning in.
Mallory.
I don't know. I guess like the shoes that you wear with an outfit are so important, and people don't seem to get it. So that's my advice. Really think about it when you're putting your shoes on.
What
Really
kind of shoes
think
are we
about it.
looking for?
These.
You can wear any shoes as long as they're good. So that takes out a lot of shoes,
What
but I
makes
can't
it
get
good?
Yeah, but
into
how
the
do people know?
specifics
What
right
makes
now.
it good?
How do people know what is not a good shoe to put on?
Eyes.
Belt.
Knees.
Well,
Make sure you have your eyes on and look at your shoes.
some people's eyes might look at a pair of shoes and say, "Oh, those are good," but you might say, "No, those not good."
Yeah. That's why I'm giving the advice right now. Really think about it when you put them on.
But what if you're thinking about it and you really think you got it?
Yeah, but you're like.
But I'm
unsure.
wearing my sandals and I think I got it.
Like Max put those flip
Oh
flops
my
on.
god,
He's
I
like,
love
"Those
those
are
things. I
good."
forgot them at home. Let's not talk about that right now. I'm gonna start crying on the podcast.
He loves those flip flops.
You don't have to take my advice, but that's it.
I'm taking it. I just want to know a little bit more in depth and
Yeah, I
like what
just
makes shoes.
I just don't know. Like
Is it the silhouette?
some people who are listening might be interested, but they might not know like what you mean by.
I mean, everyone's style is different, so like I can't get into what I'm telling you is a great shoe, but I'm just saying like shoes aren't something to be like looked over. Like they're very important. It seems like an obvious statement, but people are confused about it, I think.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So like as an overarching thing, be cautious about your shoes.
Yeah.
Text Mallory if you're.
Sure, you can send
Send
me
in your
pictures.
pictures.
Yeah.
You can send me pictures of your outfit and your shoe options, and I'll tell you which ones to sell and where to go get new ones. And then I'm not trying to get into it. That's just my advice.
Okay, I like that.
Can I wear my flip flops?
If Mallory.
I mean, like if you own flip flops, you should throw them away immediately. That is one thing that I don't think should have ever been invented. I don't understand them. There's way too much foot being shown. There's way too much. They're a bad shoe.
Forewarned is forearmed. If you come around Mallory with flip flops, you getting beaten up.
And that's a great transition to our sponsor of the day, Rainbow. Thank you guys for sponsoring this. Shoot, they're not sponsoring us yet. Sorry, guys. I love my flip flops though.
All right.
So comfortable.
I guess that's all we have for the podcast tonight. It's late.
Thank
actually.
you guys. Love you.
Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for tuning in again. Be back next week.
Dun dun dun.